Good morning, everybody. It's LSP. It's currently the 24th of May, 2022. Before I get into the analysis, just want to do a little bit of housekeeping regarding Crypto Positive. So for all of you that have been using the super thanks on the YouTube channel, I really appreciate the donations. All of that's going to be going over to Crypto Positive. But I just want to quickly explain how YouTube monetization works. So everything that was done this month will be paid next month, and everything obviously from the previous month gets paid this month. So it's always a month behind. So with that said, what I'm going to be doing is over the next couple of days, it's generally between the 21st and the 26th, that little sort of chunk of time every month when the payments come through from AdSense. So what I'm going to do is I'm just basically going to total everything up. I'm not going to factor in how much YouTube takes. I'm just going to take the full amount. So I'll be adding to it as well. So if it's, for example, $100, I think YouTube takes 30 or 40%. I'm not 100%, so don't quote me on that. But that 30 or 40% that YouTube takes, I'm just going to put back and make sure that it's the full amount that was donated, on the super thanks. I'll also try to add to that as well with my own personal funds, and then we'll do the transaction and I'll post it in the Discord. So the LSPTV Discord is in the link. The link to that is in the description below. Everything that I will be doing and posting will be in there under the Crypto Positive channel. All the public address is there. The transaction hashes will be there as well, so everybody can go and check, monitor it, keep an eye on it, and then once all of that's done, I'll do a quick video just, going through how much it was, what happened, how it kind of all went, and then it will all be updated over there in the Discord. So again, thank you so much for everybody that used the super thanks. It's still active, obviously, if you want to continue to do that, or if nobody's donated yet. Again, all goes over to Crypto Positive. So with that said, let's talk about the markets. We have Bitcoin, and what I'm opting to do today, instead of looking at this chart, which can be a little bit confusing if you're not sure what all of these mean. We're just going to kind of take a broader time frame view on Bitcoin, right? You guys know that I talk about higher time frames a lot. The weekly time frame is, an incredible time frame, for 6 months to a year down the line, trying to get a good feel for what's, what we could expect. Personally, I love the daily time frame, obviously, but these higher time frames, they give us a much stronger view of what we could expect in these timeframes. So what I've done is we have this upper level up here that prices ran into and picked up sell side liquidity. We have this lower level down here, and these are the only two levels that we're going to be interested in, when we're looking at this weekly chart. And then we have the key level. This is the level that price needs to get through first before, so I'll say it this way. This key level here, which comes in roughly about 37,500 to almost 40,000, okay? Price would need to get through this convincingly. It's not enough for price to just run up into this level, kind of slow down, maybe a little bit higher. And that's not good. We need it to just go through this level, respond, really get through it convincingly. Then we have a much higher chance that price is going to start to challenge this 48,000 high. All right, that's what we want to see for the upside. But until price gets above this high right here, okay, and starts to eat into this liquidity a little bit more, then we're effectively going to 20,000 or sub 20,000, right? That's what the chart's saying. This is what I'm seeing in terms of analysis. We're seeing no real relief, although we're getting, some really nice movement on Binance. Binance is running on its own page a little bit. That's fantastic. But ultimately, if this really starts to take a downturn, it's unlikely that all of the other coins, tokens, and so on are not going to follow suit. So all eyes are still on Bitcoin. So with that said, there's quite a few scenarios that could play out. We could be grinding here for some time, maybe start to run to the upside a little bit, then drop. Maybe we just get an explosive move that just rips through all of this and, really starts to make some headway to the upside. Maybe we just continue to bleed to the downside. And because there's so many variables and so many different, things that could play out on Bitcoin at the moment, it makes it very difficult, to guess, to say, okay, this is more likely or that's more likely. This is why confirmation is so important. Really, really important. So again, we look at the 4 hour, we can see what's happening here, right? Price started to run a little bit again, drop. Price is trying to run up, drop. Price is trying to run up, it drops. So it wants to stay in this area by the looks of things for some time. 28,000 not 28, sorry, 29,000 to roughly around about 31,000. This is becoming this kind of very tight range on Bitcoin. $2,000 on Bitcoin is nothing in terms of movement. So this is becoming quite a tight range. We have liquidity building above and below this range. So ultimately, expect volatility. Don't just expect price, to just slowly come out of this range. Expect these pockets of volatility that are going to be happening. So for example, if price starts to drop and then it snaps back, expect that. If price starts to run higher, expect it to snap back. This consolidation, by the looks of things, is going to be here for a little bit of time, right? And we can see how it's forming. But again, the longer it stays down here, the worse it is, because it's absorbing whatever liquidity it needs to absorb. It's picking up whatever it needs to pick up, whether it's buy side or sell side. And again, once it eats through all of that, if anybody's familiar with market makers, or if anybody's familiar with reading the tape, time and sales in sort of US equities, then you'll know many times that market makers, stop price from moving through with huge volume, huge amounts of orders, which no retail traders are ever going to be able to get through. And you can see that price will go into this area. It starts to eat into it a little bit, then it moves away. This is what we're doing down here, ultimately. And if that starts to happen, and it continues to happen, eventually those orders will dry up, and then price needs to run somewhere else to find liquidity. So be really cautious. You guys have heard me say this word caution, many times, and nothing has really changed. The reality on Bitcoin is still the same. We have to be mindful of this, be careful. We may see little pockets of movement on some of the projects that we're in, but it's not going to change anything, until Bitcoin really starts to go one way or the other. So if we just come over to Binance, we can see that Binance has had a pretty decent run. And as we've been maintaining, Binance showed a little bit more strength throughout this entire 6 to 8 week period, which is fantastic. We almost got to 340. I actually called 338 to 340, and on one of the feeds I was 9 cents off, which I don't have to be exact, but I was happy with that. I was smiling, and it's nice to see when price does what you expect it to do, because it gives confirmation of the analysis that you're doing and confidence in your analysis moving forward. But does this change anything in the broader view of Binance? Maybe not. At the moment, again, if we just kind of zoom out a little bit, there we go. So we get this. We can see this is really what we wanted to see on Bitcoin. Yeah, what we're seeing on Binance is what we wanted to see on Bitcoin. We have a much stronger capitulation. It's not full capitulation, but we have a much stronger capitulation. Then we had a little bit of a response from that, and we're starting to grind into this imbalance, which is fantastic. This is what we want to see. But we're not seeing it on Bitcoin. This is the problem. If Bitcoin was doing that as well, Binance probably would have been hitting around about sort of 360. This is a little bit unfortunate in the sense that this is happening before Bitcoin starts to do it as well, if Bitcoin wants to do it. Because what happens is, as Binance is running, if Bitcoin starts to move to the upside, Binance has already cleared up most of its imbalance, right? So if it does go, it'll hit 340, 350, maybe 360, and then it will start to turn, and it will just drop more aggressively because it's done most of the work that it needed to do on this small rally. So a lot of things to take into consideration. You guys know, obviously, that the way that I view price, the way that I look at things is, a little bit different to what most people do, in this space. But in doing it this way, it keeps us all calm. It keeps us focused on what is actually happening as opposed to what we think is happening. And then when we see the confirmation of that, we can, have more confidence in that movement that is, that happens after that fact. Right now, I'm happy that Binance is obviously moving on its own page. It keeps everything nice and even, and it keeps our projects propped up. But ultimately, we have to be mindful, and we have to be very careful and understand that if Bitcoin starts to run to the downside quite aggressively, it's going to take everything with it. So with that said, I'll leave it. I'm going to try. What are we on today? It's Tuesday, so yeah, I'm going to try to get a live session in today. I was trying to do it yesterday, but I just got back too late, so it was going to be a bit late. So I'll announce that sometime later. Instead of me doing a video this afternoon or a video update, I'll try and jump on We'll be keeping an eye, obviously, on the 2:30 open, which is 9:30 New York time, for the US equities. See if that makes any difference in terms of movement or volatility in the cryptocurrency market. And with all of that said, I'll keep you guys updated as always. Hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best and take care. Ciao.